Hello, hello, guys. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Please, now is the best time probably to unmute yourself. I'm sorry, excuse me, mute yourself and make sure that you unmute yourself if you want to chat with me. As you know, I like to read off my screen and I don't really keep posted on the chat box. Sometimes Amber will let me know if there's a really pressing question in there. If not, I wrap up at the end and I go into the chat box and I see if anybody's got any questions. Otherwise, please, if you're able to unmute yourself if you've got a question for me. Otherwise, I'm going to mute you and please go ahead and communicate via the chat. Good morning. Let's get started for today. Thanks for joining me, guys. All right. Let's see, where's everybody coming in from? Go ahead and get in the chat and let me know where you're from. Give me a 1 if you've been here. Give me a 2 if it's your first time. How many people are joining me that have been here before? Oh, we've still got some more people rolling in. Okay, great. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Janice, good to see you again. Thanks for joining. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, today we're going to do sort of just a refresh of what we touched upon last week, which was all about our listing photos and how we can help our sellers not only, take better listing photos, but prepare their home for listing photos. Sometimes, well, oftentimes we'll tell them what to do, right? And then we walk in and the home is just completely unprepared for photos. And I wanted to talk to you guys last week about some staging, and we did that. We touched upon that. So make sure, guys, if you didn't get the first installment of this session, that you go to the YouTube channel, find that playlist, Freedom Achiever classes, and go ahead and watch it. And it's going to make a lot of sense with today's. But today we're still going to go over a couple of brief items I talked about last week, just as a refresher. We're going to continue to talk about, areas of the home that sell the most. These are the ones that you'll notice are most often photographed. These are going to be the first photographs you see on a listing. These are the areas of a home that really sell it, quote unquote. And I wanted to put this up again just for anybody who wasn't here last week or wanted to maybe screenshot this. This is a great rule of thumb that the kitchen, the bathrooms, and the primary bedroom are typically the main stars of the photography or the videography session, of course, when you're marketing a home. Kitchen is often referred to as the heart of the home, of course. The kitchen's a crucial area for buyers. They want to envision themselves there, right? We are in these areas the most when we're home. I think the family room, not so much a formal living room because that's like the no-no room. That's the we don't touch it room. I had one of those growing up and then I was a child, of course, and sat on a round glass table and, thing. So that's the don't touch room. I don't like to showcase those rooms. They're pretty and whatnot, but that's not where people live. That's not where your buyers are going to be envisioning themselves when they're viewing the home. And don't forget, pictures are the first thing that people see. This is what is marketed. This is what's online. And this is what really brings and drives the attention to the home. So don't discredit these tips. These are very, very important tips, especially all you or any friends that you might know, agents who like to use their cell phones for these pictures. So the cell phones are great. I just got the iPhone 15 not too long ago. I hadn't done that. I hadn't upgraded for a while. And I can tell you, yes, the quality is outstanding, fabulous and all that, but I'll use my phone as far as pictures are concerned for quick social media, the videos of me doing my work while I'm out in the field. I'm not going to throw those professionally on any sort of listing material or any marketing material. Does anybody have a question? I think I heard someone unmute themselves. No? Okay, awesome. If you've just joined, go ahead and make sure you mute yourself. If you do have a question and you've just joined, let me let you know. Please go ahead and stop me. I like to read off the screen and I don't keep up with that chat box until the very end, typically, but I know that some of you are at work. So if it's a pressing question, just, put a star next to it and Amber will tell me that I've got a question in the chat. So yes, going back to this, we want to really showcase the areas of the home that buyers are going to be envisioning themselves in when they're looking at the photos online. And then, of course, when they walk the home, you want similarly these areas to be highlighted. You want to make sure that they look the best possible because again, this is where your buyer and that person walking is going to see themselves in their mind. How can I, how am I going to work in this kitchen? Does this kitchen is a layout work for our family. So in addition to this list, I like to add the family room, which is what I was saying. Not the no room that no one touches, but the family room where you're going to sit and relax and, get on a couch and feel comfy because that's really where people want to feel cozy and at home, right? The kitchen, your living room and your primary bedroom, your sanctuary where you go and, de-stress after after a long day. You want to make sure those rooms are inviting, and you start that with photos online, of course. Bathrooms. No, I'm not saying, and I want to touch upon this from last week. I had some people asking me, I'm not saying do a full remodel, not that whatsoever. But for example, simple touches in the bathroom can really make a world of a difference. And I did show some photos last week that proved that. No, what we want to with bathrooms is to leave them. What we want to really do is leave them as clean and sort of untouched, unlived in as bathrooms are concerned, right? You want it to be just this is the bathroom and the door is open. It looks clean. It looks like you have enough room to take a shower and get out of that shower and move around a bit. You want a bathroom mat and you want a coordinating towel. We don't want to overwhelm the bathroom with too many little knickknacks and things on the countertop. I showed that too. Definitely go back and take a look at those photos when you clean a countertop. And it's as simple as that. Clean the countertop. It makes a world of a difference in photos and when you're walking that home. Trust me, it really does. I like to put one simple candle in the bathroom. This is what I do, not for photos because that doesn't really translate. But as far as showings and open house is concerned, in the bathroom, all I do is I tidy and I make sure that the rug and the towel coordinate. If it's a mismatch, I will just put it underneath the sink. I don't want anyone going ooh at all when they walk into a bathroom. You never want anyone's face to sort of turn up when you walk into a bathroom. It's always going to leave them with a bad impression. But no one knows if it was the towel or the space itself. So we don't want to give anyone any reason for that. So I like to make sure it's not cluttered. We declutter and we leave it nice and clean. I like to put one little candle on the countertop, clean, clean, clean countertop, and that's all. In the primary bedroom, similarly, you don't want it to be trashed. You don't want there to be stuff on the floor, clothes, personal items, things like that. Make sure you hide all of that. What I tell my sellers, especially for photo purposes, if they just need to clear out for picture day, Rubbermaid containers. Get containers, invest in them. You're going to love them when you move anyway, right? There's always an investment in getting some Rubbermaids, putting that in there, and then just tossing them in the closet. The Rubbermaids, of course, get ones that you can or not see through. Toss them in the closet or in the garage, anywhere you can, but where you want to leave these areas as clean as possible. All right, really quick, I want to make sure that I respect Gene's time because he is out working. So Amber, if you can hear me, please, could you let me know when Gene hops on? And that way, if I'm talking about something else, I can go ahead and take care of him. I don't want him, he's working, taking photos of a home. I don't want him to waste too much time. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so moving on. I had put these up last week, but I thought these were very, very, very important. So I wanted to add them again today as we are going to be talking to Gene, who is professional. He's my partner, but also professional photographer and videographer in the Miami area. I'll give you the introduction to him when he hops on. Incredible real estate photographer. So I really wanted to get him on here to chat with you guys about just simple tips from the photographer's perspective and what he's told other agents, right? In order to prepare the home for photography, videography, drone, you name it. He's going to have some great tips for us. So these photos on the top and the photos on the bottom that you're seeing are the same room. What they've done here is they've either well, it could be a combination of all things that I'm talking about, right? And in these examples, they most likely are a combination. Um, but not only do they declutter, right? They rearrange, and this is okay, guys, too. Tell your sellers, hey, if this room works better a different way visually, go ahead and do that. In my opinion, that's staging that no one had to spend any money on. Just simply moving furniture in a room can make a world of a difference. And take a look at this first example we have here on the left. The top photo is this room. This is a child's room. And you see where the bed is? This makes sense for a child. As a mother, I completely agree with, excuse me, I completely agree with putting that bed up against the wall for safety for our children. Done it. In fact, my youngest still has her bed this way. However, look at how much more spacious this room looks when they've moved the bed position in the room. There seems to be more room to walk around. It seems more spacious. It's definitely decluttered. And all they've done is change some linens. And this was a facelift beyond belief for this bedroom. Take a look at that, right? A buyer's going to walk in and go, oh, there's definitely kids here. But this one, the one on the bottom, looks staged. Oh, I'm so happy. All right. I am very, very happy to let everybody know that Jean has joined us. And Jean, I'm going to, hey, how you doing? Unmute yourself and say hello. So I know you can hear me. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you in a minute. The minute I know you can hear me. Hey.
I can hear you.
Hey, how
What's
you
going
doing?
on?
Thank you so much for joining me.
No,
All right,
no, no
guys.
problem.
So we have Mr. Jean Mones with us, coming in from work. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're out doing what you do best. We still have people coming in. Everyone's really excited to hear you talk, Jean. Jean is not only my partner, but a professional photographer, videographer, digital marketer. He works with market holics, guys. If you are in the Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach area, even down in the Keys, the Upper Keys, Jean is the man to call. I've gone ahead and made it real easy for you guys. Screenshot this right here so you can contact Jean. These QR codes are going to take you directly to his work and his website. If you guys ever need any real estate marketing, any photography, any drone, corporate events, even if you guys hear of anyone who needs an incredible, I mean, he's done massive events, conferences all around the country, headshots even. Fantastic photographer. I highly, highly recommend him. His knowledge is just none other. Jean, please tell us about what you do in Miami. So correct me, correct? We do incredible aerials. You're really great with the drone, photography, videography, you name it. We're going to be doing a lifestyle photo on an incredible photo shoot on an incredible listing we've got coming up in Fort Lauderdale, luxury listing. So I want to talk to you, Jean, about these photos, and you hopped in right at the right time. Jean, take a look at these photos, right? The top, and these are the same rooms, right? The top is what it would look like, I would assume, as we walk in the home before we tell them what they need to do to this room, right? And then the bottom is that same room, just done a little differently. And I was just talking to the group about how on the left, what we've done is very simply just moved the furniture and decluttered. But all the way on the right, let's talk about the angle on that. So I was telling everyone last week how angles are really important. And Jean, can you talk to us about how if these people, if agents are going to direct their sellers as to what to do, or taking the photography themselves, they have a camera, and we're not on iPhones, guys, right? We're not on iPhones. Promise me we're not doing iPhone shots. But if they've got their own camera and they want to do this, talk to them about lines of sight, if you could, please, and angles on a photo and how it can make a difference. And then we're going to show these incredible photos you just finished taking of that luxury listing.
Yeah, so a couple things, right? That just by looking at the before, right, kind of is a little pet peeve of mine, right? Lines. For me, I like my lines to always be straight, right? I don't like inclined. Like if you're doing it with your phone, right? The normal usually of people who are doing it with their phone is that they get shots at an incline, right? Like pointing, from up, pointing down, right? It pretty much, doesn't make your line straight, right? I'm a big believer in my lines being straight, right? Where the image doesn't look like it's a phone. So even though, let's say, for example, the one all the way to the right might have been done with the camera, right? It feels
Mhm.
like it was done with the phone, because if you see the doors, how it looks, right?
Right, it's
It's kind of
it's
an
it's
incline,
lopsided. Mhm.
it's
It's
lopsided,
sideways.
right? So lines are always a big thing. Also, I like to show always the doors, like another perspective.
Mhm.
Okay, these doors lead to this. You
Correct.
know what I mean? So,
Thanks for mentioning that. That's really important. And I agree with windows, right? If there's a bedroom, the worst thing you can do is take a shot from the window looking out, right? You want to look into the room and see the window so you can see
mhm.
outside.
Correct. Yeah. So you do that, and then you can catch a different angle. Let's say, for example, if it's an ensuite, right, where it has a bathroom in the same room, you want to be able to catch both doors, right, where they're able to see, okay, this leads to outside of the room, but on the door on the left side or on the right side leads to the bathroom, right? Just gives
Right.
a nice little perspective to it's just a more visually appealing picture overall.
Right. And also we want to make these spaces look as large as possible. So,
Mhm.
can you give, 3 tips? Let's say that agents on here are interviewing photographers for the very first time. They know nothing. And someone's like, yeah, I can take pictures of a house. What are 3 things? And I think you're going to agree with me, right? It's
Mhm.
lens, experience, and lighting. Have they ever done this before? Are they shooting on a wide angle? And is this going to be bright enough? Right?
Yeah, I would say those are good points, right? But I think it's always good to see their portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you guys as realtors would never really know whether he can tell you that he's shooting at a wide angle, but you don't really know that, right? Just by
Right.
looking at the camera. So it's always good just to see their portfolio, and always, if they can give you a reference, by all means, you know what I mean.
Yeah. And then I know some people, charge different rates for it, but
Mhm.
how important do you feel the drone and the aerial shots are?
Depends on the photographer, right?
Yeah.
Drones are great to show the area, right? But then depends on where you're at and where you're located, because sometimes drones might not might not help sell the home, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
our jobs as photographers is to get people to the door, right?
Right.
That's my job as a photographer, right? I was
Right.
like, I can guarantee that you're gonna get views, and people are gonna, call you, and they're gonna want to go see the house. That's So if I show a drone shot where it's not visually appealing, the area or whatever the case is, then
Yeah.
it's not gonna
It
it's
it
not gonna
makes
help
sense.
us.
No, that yeah, thanks for saying that. It makes sense because just earlier before you hopped on, I was actually telling the group similarly that yeah, the photos are so important because this is the first thing anyone sees even before going to visit that house. This is what makes them
Hmm.
want to come get that appointment. So what makes them want to go see it, right? When
Yep.
there's no photos on an MLS listing, I don't know about you guys in the group, but I don't like that. I move on, and then what happens? We forget about that house, right? You
Hmm.
forget about it. But if there's a photo, even if it's a bad one, you'll be like, "Oh, that's that," right? What we do is we correlate things. That's the house with the blue door, or that's the house with the terrible landscaping outside. But at least I remember the home. If
Hmm.
you're putting MLS listings up with no photos, what a disservice, right, Jean? What a
Of
disservice you're
course.
doing to
And I
your
think,
seller. Yeah.
and I think you should always keep in mind also, even though I'm a photographer, right? I don't want to stir people away, or well, how do you say mislead? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
people, right? So the
of
photos,
course.
Photoshop is great and all, but always try to keep your photos as.
Gene, you're hitting the nail on the head here, man. Take a look at this slide. I haven't gone through this yet, but you are
Mhm.
literally mentioning everything on here. One of
Mhm.
my bullet points here, this is my top tips because this is the last session I'm going to do. I've done 2 of these already, last week and this week now. So I'm not going to kill this dead horse anymore, but I wanted to touch upon my tips that I give my sellers, and look at this. Do not, and I repeat, do not remove items with Photoshop from the walls. Do not remove fixtures with Photoshop. Do not think you're going to edit things out of the
Yeah,
picture.
and if you
Please don't.
do, and if you do
You,
decide that you want to virtually stage or you want to
yes,
remove items,
of
keep the
course.
original photo beside it,
Yep.
right? So it's like, it gives them the
Mhm. This is
It
the
could look
blank
like this.
room. This
This
is
is
the
what,
blank
yeah.
space.
This
And
is
then
what it
this
can
is the
look like
staged
if I
photo.
declare the home.
Correct. And also, please declare that. Make sure that you make mention of the fact that there are virtually staged photos in this set, because you'd be really surprised. Tell me, I have heard this. Oh, I thought that that there was this and that here. Oh no, that's a staged photo. People are coming in expecting to see what they saw in the pictures. So if you go and change things, please make sure that you make notation of that in the MLS itself.
And then,
Which,
as far as the things that I send to my clients, I always like to send things that a list of things that I would like removed to the house. I'm gonna, kind of make it quick because I do gotta go.
exactly.
Just trash can bins, hide those.
Yep.
Always in the case that you're decluttering the home, pick a room that you do not want to shoot. Right,
Yep.
maybe the garage, and just put everything there. It makes it easier not having to move. Because time is
Correct.
precious, right?
Like I
So
said,
if I need
Rubbermaid
to have
bins,
you
guys.
if I have to have you move things from all the rooms every time, it's just going to take longer for me to shoot the home, right?
Absolutely.
And
Right. Help me
some
help you.
photographers will charge you per hour. You never know.
Yes, absolutely, guys. So some photographers do charge per hour, not per property. So please bear in mind that their time is very precious. Jean, thank you so much for joining us. I just want to give you a little props here and show these incredible photos. I just have a couple of slides, guys, if you could appreciate these. Now, this is what luxury looks like in photography, and I can't wait to share the video when we've
Of
got
course,
that.
yeah. And if you guys need headshots or anything like that, we do set up and we do nice things. So, but it was a pleasure,
Yes.
Maybe send a
talking with
reminder in
you
the
guys.
chat,
And
like if you
thank you.
haven't put together a wish list, it would be pretty helpful if you did that.
It is. It is great. Wish lists are awesome.
All right, guys. Well, it was
All
a
right,
blessing, and you
Jean,
guys
thank
have
you for
a good
joining
day.
us. We
All right,
appreciate
guys.
you and your time, all right? Have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, guys, that was awesome. From a real estate professional himself. This is what he does, and these are his incredible pictures. These are just a few of the photographs that he's taken on this beautiful listing we've got upcoming in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Please let me know if you've got anyone interested in it. I would be more than happy to take you on a private tour. This home is just incredible. And as you can see, what Jean was talking about, the leading lines. Can you guys see my cursor? Someone give me a thumbs up or say yes. Can you see my cursor when I indicate things? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Amber. Amber loves me. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. So see what Jean was talking about as far as the leading lines. This is what he's talking about. We want these lines. Anytime that there are lines, and again, we're doing real estate photography, there's going to be a lot of lines everywhere, right? We deal with boxes and lines all day. Look at this. We don't want this to be curved or crooked. It indicates that that photo was handheld, and we want, everything to look as professional as possible. This photo was taken on a tripod, I assure you, and it should look as such. Apologies. We want to go backwards. Same thing here. Remember, I was talking about right here. I was talking about windows and windows right here. We want to make sure that from wherever you take the photo, you can see through and through. If through and through is possible, you want your client's eye to be able to see that, because their mind is wondering what's through there, what's back there. Okay, through and through. So open up these doors, see, because this would otherwise have a huge reflection here. So we opened up these doors to indicate that this is this door here, right? And then they can visualize themselves almost walking through the home. I like that this is open as well, so that you can see that that is this sitting room over here, right? If we had this window closed, what would happen? We'd see a reflection of the outside. So the through and through is another reason why leading lines are really important. Make sure that nothing's crooked and that you can see through the windows. And then this is just a great indication of how wonderful landscaping can make a home look. If there was no green here, yes, it would still be a great house, but this is inviting. Super, super inviting. And again, here's Jean's information. I know that Amber put it in the chat. Also, go ahead and feel free to scan the QR code, save this, screenshot this. His work is incredible, guys. Corporate events as well as headshots. Get those headshots. Just get some new headshots for the new year, you know? 2024. I think everybody needs some new headshots, me included. All right, so before Jean hopped on, what I wanted to touch upon was what says luxury in photos. I was before showing you that incredible luxury property, but what says luxury in photos? Well, a couple of things. Planning and prep. Have a plan of action for these photos. Like Jean said, if you walk in and it's taking forever and a day to clear these rooms and whatnot, you're going to get charged by the hour. Your client's going to get charged by the hour, or they're going to take the photos and they're going to be awful and it's going to be a mess, and they're going to be like, well, shrug, that's what you provided me, so I shot it as it was. And so, have a plan of action, and make sure you let your sellers know this is where you need to hide the stuff. Rubbermaid's garage. Choose one area, like he said, where it's not going to be photographed, whether it's the laundry room or like a utility room, maybe a mud room or something like that. Throw those boxes in there and make sure the house is ready to go. Use a wide angle lens. Guys, I know the talking photography stuff is silly to a bunch of realtors. I totally understand. Photography was my wheelhouse before real estate, so that's why I do know a couple of things, and I'm trying not to throw out photography jargon to you guys, but a wide angle lens is very, very important. The tighter the lens, right, the smaller the field of view. So if you're on a macro lens, which is what photographers use to like photograph bugs on pretty flowers, right, or like squirrels as they're eating, I'm sure we've all seen those really cute photographs. That's a macro lens, and that's zoomed in really, really, really tight. You want to do the opposite with a home. And I used to say this because when I photographed with people, I photographed weddings, I did brides and grooms, and I used to say, I am not photographing architecture. I would do the opposite. I would get in very romantically and very tight on the shots and make sure that what you felt was more the sentiment as opposed to where these people are standing. Now, with real estate, you want to do the opposite. You're photographing a building. We don't need to throw love and emotion into it. What we want is to do real estate photography, and you are showcasing, boom, this property. What you want it to be is bright, colorful, and wide angle. For all the rooms, don't switch up the angle. If your photographer is there changing lenses, I assure you that it's not real estate, 100% real estate photographer. Photography is very specific, and the lens in which they use are for specific purposes, right? So for real estate photography, you want to stay open and wide. Wide angle lens is a must. And as you'll notice, all of Jean's photos were on the same lens, just taken at different angles, same lens, no switching of that, also same lighting, right? As you noticed, he used the same flash, so it's the same camera system set up for every single room. Get the right lighting. Make sure that your photographer has proper lighting. They should come with an external light, also known as an off-camera flash. A drone. I think drone photography is great. I think it does showcase the area, of course, the proximity to where the main city is, not home. I think it's wonderful. You need it, for example, for certain luxury listing requirements at my brokerage. So I think it's really important that everyone just gets in the habit of doing drone photography. Let's go ahead. And then, of course, my last tip that's very important, just hire a pro. Let me show you this drone photo. So here, you see, this is downtown Fort Lauderdale, and everybody can see, exactly where it is from the water, and it gives people more perspective as to where exactly they're going to be living. Oh, okay, I just take this street and drive down here, and oh, it looks like a straight shot. So these are things that clients think about when taking a look at these photos. And I wanted to go ahead and just read these tips off, guys. These are my favorite real estate photo tips. This is what I tell the seller: treat it as if you were the buyer. How do you want to see that home? How do you want it presented? How would you feel when you saw this room in this manner? Would you want to move something? Would you say, oh, that trash can shouldn't be there? It probably shouldn't. Remove it. Choose the best day and time for your shoot. Remember, bright is best. We don't, if it's raining on that day, guys, reschedule. I promise you, reschedule, just reschedule. You want a day where it's pretty clear. You want to be able to shoot and through the windows and see a beautiful clear day outside. Tidy up the outside. Sweeping counts. It doesn't need to be a whole lot. No, don't go spend, 5K, 10K in landscaping. Rosie didn't say that. Just sweep. Just you make the pathway clear. If you've got debris, you're in an area now with the fall where leaves are changing, things are falling on the floor. Make that pathway for your clients. Make it easy and inviting for them to enjoy that home as if it was theirs. Undo the lived-in personalized look. I think this is just really important in places like the bathroom. Remove your personal effects from the bathroom just for the photos. You've got medicine on the countertops. If you've got personal items, perfumes, things like that, remove those just for the time being, just for the picture, and put them right back. Don't overstage. This is really, really important. Don't go nuts, overwhelming, let's say, a bathroom countertop with 10 different types of rolled towels. Yes, they're beautiful, but that's overwhelming. Plus, and you've got a candle and then a huge floral centerpiece. No, 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 no. No one needs all of that. Don't overdo it. Okay, less is more. They want to see more of the home and less of people's personal stuff. So less is more in that case. Let the light in. Remember, bright, and that goes with the day and time of the shoot. Do not shoot at night. Don't think that flash is going to solve it. Flash helps when you've got daylight. It helps balance the light. At nighttime, if you try to take photography, real estate photography indoors at night, I assure you, you're not going to like the outcome. So the photographer you've hired is like, yeah, let's do the inside at night. Well, the outside for that twilight photo is really what you need. That twilight photo is very popular and is so attention grabbing. I highly suggest everyone hops on a twilight photo. Make sure you get that, but do not try to do photography inside at night. Shoot from the right spot. Jean and I were talking about angles. This is really, really, really important. Make sure that when you do shoot, you're either showing a leading line through a walkway, a doorway, or a window. Avoid odd angles. Same thing. Make sure that this is done on a tripod. Make sure that you're not, the camera is not lifted up. It's not pointing down. We're not taking selfies, that kind of stuff. You want it to be same level, eye level, and on a tripod. Don't count on editing to help. Really, really, really important. Don't count on editing to help them. Oh yeah, you just shoot it, however, without flash, and then I can just really brighten it up later. What's going to happen is certain areas of that photo are going to get called, in the photography world, what they call blown out, which means it is just completely obliterated in white. You can't see anything, and the photo is essentially ruined in certain areas. So don't overexpose after the fact. And then do not, I repeat, do not add or remove items, walls, fixtures, etc. when editing. Hire a professional to do this. If you're going to stage the photos, make sure, like Jean said, that you have the room itself as it is, and then the possibility after, and make sure you notate that in the listing. In the MLS, that you have staged photos or digitized photos in the listing. But hiring a professional is incredibly important. This does not cost a lot of money, guys. If you want professional staging in photos, you can get that done really easily online for maybe I think like $7 a photo is, I think, as cheap as I've seen it. But yeah, it doesn't cost a whole lot. But pass these tips along to your sellers. I think it will really help in helping them plan and prep for the photography session and the photography and videography of their home and their listing. Again, here's Jean's info one more time. And these incredible pictures. I can't wait to do the lifestyle shoot. I'm just gonna go and watch and enjoy the process, but it's going to be incredible. I'll definitely share that with you guys once it's done. So does anybody have any questions? Let's see. I do have one person. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Amber. Amber, you're the best. So that link right there that Amber threw up in the chat, everyone go there. That link is going to be the link that takes you directly to what I mentioned here, the replay in bottom right of the screen. If you go to YouTube You can catch all the replays at David A. Kurz. You're going to just click this link right here, and all the videos are going to pop up for you on a playlist. Very convenient. So guys, next week, we're going to go back to Canva. We're going to talk Canva and client communication. I'm going to have a template giveaway next week as well. And it's going to be a social media template that well, it is social, right? Because we talked to everybody, but it's not for Instagram or anything like that. Like the last one that I gave you, this one specifically for you to text your client. I thought it really nice ways in which we can communicate with our clients a little more modernly, right? And everyone likes, well, I like things to look cohesive and put together and very branded. So I have a couple of text templates that I'm using, and I'm really liking them, and I'm getting a lot of compliments and good feedback from my clients. So I wanted to share them with you. Join me here every Tuesday at 11 at thefreedomzoom.com. And you can register for all of the classes. You'll get a nice little email notification reminder if you register for them at thefreedomcoaching.com. And our coaching platform, of course, can be found at freedomachieveracademy.com. And on the left-hand side is all the ways in which you can contact me. You can find me everywhere at Rosie Sells Miami on Instagram, as well as emailing me any questions or concerns, comments that you've got. Please go ahead and email me at rosiesellsmiami@gmail.com. If you're interested in any of the replay links, I'd be more than happy to send that to you. Any templates that I've given, in previous sessions, maybe you're watching the replay, right? And you see something from maybe week 2. Hey, Rosie, in week 2, you gave away this thing. Just send me an email. I'll shoot it over right to you. Okay. Does anybody have any questions at all? I don't see anything in the chat. So otherwise, I'm going to head out. Guys, it was a pleasure. Thanks for being here with me, and I will catch you next week. See you soon. Have a great one.